All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Need to Flow. I'm Skylar, and today we're going to be focusing on positivity, visualizing goals, but also physically how we can start progressing in our single leg balances that we've been working on in the balance class. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the balance classes, make sure you do so when you get a chance. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. So if you don't have a yoga mat, that's okay. You can just lay any type of towel or blanket on the ground just to cushion your sit bones. And I want you to start in a comfortable seat. And we're actually going to start with a type of self-myofascial release. So we're going to do a little bit of self-massage. You may have heard of different foam rolling or using like a tennis ball or lacrosse ball type of massage. So today I'm going to show you how you can start opening up and releasing tension in your hips, even if you don't have access to any of those pieces of equipment. So what I want you to do, especially if you're on a hard surface, and you might slowly come down onto your right elbow, and you're trying to find this tender spot right in the side of your hip here. And you want to be careful that you're not leaning directly onto bone, especially if you have fragile bones, or if you're at risk for osteoporosis or something like that, then make sure you're not putting too much pressure directly on the bone. But see if you can slowly start to just rock your hips on the ground. Notice it should feel like a massage. And if you're used to a massage or some type of foam rolling, then you might already start to know what that feels like. If you feel like you could get a little bit deeper, maybe you can lift your feet off the ground and you can slowly start rocking into that hip. And if you find a spot that you feel like is the most tender or tension there, then see if you can start bending and straightening that right leg. So you're going to slowly start to straighten that leg out and then slowly start to bring that leg in. Notice how you're moving the muscle around the ground. So you're creating some type of movement in the muscle wherever you're feeling that tension. And it's a great way to try to release some inflammation or, like I said, any muscle tension. You might hold stress in that area. Who knows what you might find as you're doing this. So at any point throughout the day, if you feel like your hips are feeling tight, or if you spend a lot of time in a seated position, then maybe you try to get down and try one of these moves here. All right, so let's go ahead and switch sides. You can do it from anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds or longer if you feel right. And notice that this side might feel a little different. So now we're on the left hip, left elbow. So slowly start to rock. All right, so we're slowly starting to see if you can open up that hip. Notice if it feels tight. Maybe you can lift your feet up. Maybe you find a spot and you can slowly start to straighten and bend that left leg, okay? So you're gonna have to do a little bit of self-exploration here. When I first introduce a lot of my clients to foam rolling or a self-massage technique, a lot of the times it's kind of like, I don't really understand what this is supposed to do. What is it doing? So it's really important to keep your mind focused on how your body feels. And the more you can be mindful of what this feels like and how you are controlling the pressure and the tension release of the hip, the more you can help your body be in tune with what you need. So it's not just about going through the motions and trying to check off a workout on your to-do list, but really starting to notice what does your body need? Do you notice that your left side is tighter than your right side? Maybe that side needs a little bit of extra TLC. All right, so let's slowly, when you're ready, come back to a seated position. And we're going to slowly start to just stir the pot a little bit. Just take your time, maybe rocking to the side, side to side, or forward and back. Just kind of rolling through the spine as we start to come back into center. Now bring your arms out wide. We're going to inhale the arms up nice and tall. Grab onto your left wrist and exhale as you start to pull your arm out to the side, but turn and look towards the sky. Inhale, back up to center. Grab your opposite wrist, stretch over to the side, and turn your gaze up and look up towards the sky. One more time, each side. Inhale up nice and long. Stretch out your nice side. In. Last time, stretching here. And then we'll slowly start to roll all the way onto all fours. Plant your hands on the ground. Bring your knees underneath your hips. And let's slowly start to warm up with our cat-cows. Inhale to look up, exhale to tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. If this is your first time doing cat-cow, you can stay here as you start moving through one vertebrae at a time. And if you'd like to challenge yourself a little bit and notice if you have control over your entire spine, see if you can start with your head and move one vertebrae at your chin first. And imagine your spine moving one vertebrae at a time. It's not very easy. All the way down until your tailbone is the last thing to tuck. Keep your tailbone tucked. See if you can start inhaling for cow, starting with your head, moving one vertebrae at a time. See if you can control this movement. One more time for cat. Start with your tucking your chin. Keep your tailbone as it is until you start moving the wave through your spine all the way down to your tailbone. And then we'll slowly make our way into neutral. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And you're going to slowly start bringing the left knee out to the side without opening your hips up, okay? So it's actually a much more minimal movement than we often think. So see how far you can lift your knee out to the side without twisting your hips. Imagine you have a glass of your favorite drink sitting on the small of your back. And if you really twist, you're going to spill it all over. So see if you can try to squeeze your core, bracing through the core, lifting your knee straight out to the side. We have two more here. Find that control. And then let's slowly start to switch onto the other side. Okay, so we just did a lot of tension release on the hips. And now we're just starting to turn on our neuromuscular system. So we're starting to say, all right, muscles, let's wake up. Let's get ready to balance. So we have a muscle here, kind of on the side of the hip, the gluteus medius. And it plays a huge role in our single leg stabilizing. So anytime you're standing on one leg, or even think about running and you have to balance from one leg to the other, it relies a lot on this muscle. So we want to make sure it's ready. We're sending signals to fire it up. One more here, and back down to all fours. Let's slowly push the hips back to child's pose. Tuck your chin. Inhale, rock forward. See if you can slowly come into cobra, lifting the chest. Exhale, back into child's pose. Tuck the chin. Inhale, forward to cobra. Lift the chest. We're going to start increasing the flow here. Exhale, back into child's pose. Inhale, this time bring your right foot with you. Stomp it to the outside of your hands. Still trying to find that cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, upward dog chest with the right leg to the outside. Now see if you can twist up, reaching your right fingertips to the sky. Plant your hands back to child's pose. Inhale, left leg forward, upward dog chest, lift and twist towards the left, back down, child's pose. Inhale, rocking forward, right foot comes back. See if you can tuck those toes, lift up into this low lunge. Add in the twist, reaching your fingertips up towards the sky. Bring that hand back down, step back into child's pose, or hover the knees over the ground into this loaded child's pose. Inhale forward. Maybe you can keep your back leg up again. Low lunge. Lift the left fingertips up nice and twist. Back down. Step back plank this time. Hold here in plank. Press the hands down into the ground, engaging the core. The point of flow here is to allow your body to move through movements and to get your mind into the flow state. So we want optimal activation here. You don't want it to be too high, or that can cause anxiety or stress, and we don't want it to be too low, or it can cause boredom. So we want to help you get your mindset into the flow state so that you can enhance your mental clarity, creativity, and productivity. Now slowly start to drop the knees. Let's push the hips back into child's pose. Great job there. Deep inhale here. Deep exhale. Slowly rock forward. Tuck your toes under. Push your hips up. Downward dog. Walk it in those legs. Keep your hands where they are. Inhale. Look forward. Lengthen the spine. Pull those shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees as close to your chest as you can. Slowly start to rise the arms up. Here we go. Fierce, powerful posture. Sink those hips down. Try to tuck the tailbone. You got this. Find your flow state. Keep yourself activated. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release the arms. Stand up tall. Let your chest stay up nice and bright. Inhale, arms up overhead. Bend the knees. Sink the hips down. And we'll slowly start to exhale, fold forward as far as you can. Maybe you're just on your shins right now. That's fine. Keep your hands where they are. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, plant the hands. Slowly step your feet back into plank. As many steps as you need. That's fine. All right. Now start to build the heat into your belly here. Nice and strong. You might start rocking forward and back a little bit. Start to imagine your center of gravity shifting from hands to toes, hands to toes. And then slowly start to find stillness. See if you can hug your elbows into your side body. How slow can you go through this flow? Take your time. We're finding stillness through our movement. And once you're ready, see if you can power up into this upward dog, lifting the chest, shoulders back, nice and proud chest. You got this. Exhale, tuck the toes, push the hips up. Downward facing dog. Remember, you can always choose child's pose if you feel like you need to give your wrist a little bit of a break or catch your breath. See if you can reach those heels back down behind you. Press your chest back. Gaze toward your belly button if you can. Inhale, look forward, rise up on your toes. Bend your knees. See if you can step or start hopping your way up to the top of your mat and then sink your hips down. See if you can balance on your toes. Lift your chest. Maybe you can bring one hand to your knee. Maybe you can bring both hands to your knee. Sit up tall, shoulders back, balancing mirror. Deep breath in, deep breath out. See if you can slowly wrap your arms around your shins, still balancing on those toes. How high can you rise up on your toes? Deep breathing. And then slowly, if you have balance, you're going to try to stay on your toes the whole time. If you have to drop your heels down, that's okay. We're going to try to stand up, starting with your arms. Inhale, balance, and exhale, release everything back down. Shake it out. Nice job. Let's go ahead and stand on our left leg. We're going to slowly balance onto the left. Start crossing the right leg behind you as if we're doing a drop lunge, or you might know as a curtsy lunge, and you might bring your arms out in front of you, but try to keep the foot off the ground. How deep can you squat here? And then slowly inhale, stand up tall. Let's switch legs, opposite foot. Shift your weight to the right. Cross that left leg behind you. See if you can start sinking down as low as you can. If you need to put your foot on the ground, that's fine. See how low you can go without any joint pain. Stand up tall, switch legs, working on our single leg balance, dynamic movements. Here we go. Slowly start to flow from one side to the next. If you've done this before, then you might already be flowing. All right, shoulders down and back. You got this. Try to bend that knee. See how low you can go without touching the ground. Now, if you feel any pain in your knee, then I want you to just not go down as low. So maybe you're just starting to balance by crossing one leg behind the other. Try to think about exhaling to control down and then inhale to lengthen through the spine. Slowly focusing on your breath and your flow. Okay, now we're going to slowly start to take this down to the ground. So let's start on the left leg. Cross behind. See how low you can go, and maybe your back right knee can touch the ground first, and then your foot. Great job. Now let's see if you can stand up from here by pressing this left heel down into the ground. See if you can lift up. Great job. Opposite leg. Start crossing behind you under control. Okay, you don't want to be slamming that knee down. Of course, that's not going to feel very good. See if that knee can hit first, and then see if you can stand up by pushing this heel into the ground. And if you can, maybe lifting that back foot off the ground and not using that foot at all. Practice here. Opposite side. See how low you can drop down. Finding that flow. Maybe that back foot stays in the air the entire time. Can you push up and stick it. One more time on this side. All the way back down. Take your time, take your time. Here we go. See if you can stand up. And power. Great job. Next step. Slowly lower down. This time we're going to come all the way to a seat. So you're going to bring your hands to the ground and take this left foot and shuffle it to the side so your knees are now crossed on top of each other into Gomukhasana, cow face pose. And if this is too tight, maybe this foot stays on the ground and you start to slowly work into the hip. See if you can bring your heels as close to your sit bones as you can, and then your palms plant on the ground. Turn your fingertips so that they can lock under your feet. So you can try to wiggle your feet a little bit closer. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, pull the belly button in, fold forward. Take a deep breath here. We're thinking about lengthening the spine, but you should also feel a nice stretch opening up through the hip. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Slowly inhale to lift the chest up. Release the hands. We're going to plant this left foot in front of the ground. Willie clearly does not like this posture, but that's okay. We're going to slowly start to come up to this kneeling position. Now see if you can press this left foot into the ground and try to stand up with this back foot hovering. See if you can press through. Here we go. All the way up. Nice job. Right foot, same thing. We're going to cross that leg back behind you. Start bending, sinking down. See how controlled you can be as you slowly start to drop the knee, drop the foot, and then we're going to wiggle this front foot around to come to a seat. Remember, if your hips are really tight, you might keep that knee up. If it feels okay, then you might start to cross the legs. Palms on the ground. Start to turn your fingertips out and lock them underneath your toes. Sit up tall here. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, pull the belly button in. Fold your chest forward. Deep breath in. Again, we're maintaining our mindset here in the flow state. Pay attention. How does this side feel in comparison to the other side? How is this hip feeling? Find a deep breath as you lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up, lengthen through the spine. And then slowly start to unwind. See if you can bring this foot flat onto the ground. Maybe you can lift up and into this kneeling position without using your hands. Ta-da! And then maybe you can press through this heel, lift that foot off the ground if you can, and see if you can stand up tall. Shake it out. Nice work. Okay, we're going to add into this flow of the single leg balance. Inhale. We're going to slowly balance and shift our weight to this left leg, nice and strong. Shoulders back, core is engaged. Now see if you can start bringing the right knee up toward your chest. See how high you can bring the right knee without curling or tilting your pelvic girdle. So it might help to start with your hands on the hips. And maybe you stay here. This could be your whole practice today, just practicing this balance. And if you'd like to advance, then stay with me here. See if you can straighten out that leg and cross your legs as if you were in a seat and you're crossing your legs, crossing your thighs on top of each other. We're slowly getting into our eagle posture. This might be it for you, or you might be able to slowly cross a little bit more and work on that little ankle lock. Now, the more you can squeeze your core and find your inner strength, squeeze your inner thighs together, the more you can balance. Reach your arms out to the side. Let's see if we can get into eagle arms. Reaching the arms out nice and long. Here we go. See if you can cross your right arm underneath your left. And then maybe the elbows can wind around each other, bringing your palms together. Lift your elbows up. Feel that nice stretch between the shoulder blades, especially if you hold tension there. Deep breath in. Pull those elbows away from your chest. Keep up tall. Slowly start to release the arms, straighten the legs out in front of you, squeeze that quad. Now we're going back into warrior three, single leg RDL. Bend the knee if you like, or straighten all the way through. Leading with the heel. Start to push the hips back. You can have a slight bend in this knee so it's not completely locked out. And the hip bones are facing straight down, just like in those fire hydrants we did in the warm-up. Make sure you're not twisting the hips. All right, so see if you can catch yourself, balance. Kick out through the heel so you're reaching straight back. If you have a mirror or a video camera to capture this movement of yours, make sure when you look back, you can see your toes are facing straight down. Squeeze the quad. Lift up through this hip. Engage the core. Imagine like you're trying to stomp the wall behind you. Now we're focusing on transition back into a warrior one. We're going to slowly transition through high lunge. As slow as you can, you're reaching the arms up, back, reaching that foot as far back as you can, under control until the toe touches the ground. High lunge, and then start pivoting that back foot to the ground. Warrior one, great job. Exhale, fold forward, plant the hands. Step back into plank, your version of vinyasa. Inhale for upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, rise up on the toes, bend the knees. See if you can step or hop your way up to the top of the mat. We're going to try this balance rise. Stay on your toes if you can. Inhale the arms up. See if you can stand all the way, balancing on your toes. Exhale, release down. Great. One more side. You got this. Keep flowing with me. Right foot is the standing leg. Keep the mind focused. Remember, you might be just practicing here on this balance. This side might feel different. See if you can try straightening the leg. Maybe you can go crossing the thighs and wrapping that ankle around for the ankle lock. Squeeze the muscles. Reach the arms out wide, crossing the left arm underneath this time. Finding that nice stretch through the shoulder blades. Pulling your elbows away from your chest. You got this. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Maybe on your next exhale, you slowly start to bring your elbow down to your knee. Inhale slowly to lift up tall. Release the arms. We're going to slowly start to come into the single leg RDL. Warrior three. Remember, you can bend the knee or keep it straight. See if you can slowly start to rotate the hips back, finding this balance, lifting up through this leg, kicking out through the heel. Finding your flow. Watch your hips here. The hips are nice and stable. All right, squeezing the glutes. Toe is facing back down. Take your time as we slowly start to transition through high lunge to warrior one. Take your time, reaching as far back as you can. Lots of inner strength here until your toe touches. You're lifting up and then pivoting that foot down. Warrior one, great job. Exhale, fold forward, plant the hands, step back into plank. Last option for vinyasa here, if you like. Inhale up. You can choose this extra push-up all the way through. Back up through downward dog. Deep inhale. Exhale, rise up on the toes, bend the knees. Make your way into a seat. Maybe you can step and hop all the way through. Great job. Now slowly start to roll all the way onto your back, hugging your knees into your chest. Rocking side to side. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. And slowly start to lengthen your legs out. Lengthen your arms. Slowly come to stillness. Notice how it felt. Were you able to get your mind into the flow state here? Close your eyes and take a full body scan. How does everything feel? How are your hips feeling? Did you feel the fire in your hips? And as you're laying there, I want you to visualize your goals for the day. What is one thing that you can control, that you can accomplish today? Something positive. And then maybe at the end of the day, write down 3 positive things that happened. And maybe it was just accomplishing your goal, or maybe it has nothing to do with that. Deep inhale, deep exhale. And sometimes reminding yourself of the positive things that do happen each day can start to shift your thoughts over time and can help remind you of the things that you do. Be thankful for yourself. You're allowed to say thank you to yourself. So take a moment. If you have more time, stay here. Allow yourself to melt into the mat. And if you're off to the next thing, see how much you can help your mind stay in the flow state with each activity that you do. We'll take a big inhale together and we'll exhale everything out. Thank you for flowing with us. If you have any questions, feel free to send us an email, comment on our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or follow us on YouTube for any updates. Great work today, and I look forward to flowing with you again soon. We'll do our nice social distance high five, power peace, out. See you next time.